Hey there, Rogues! Welcome to 2022. Welcome to the Rogues Gallery. I hope that you can hear me and see me and that captions are working and all those other things that sometimes don't work. Hopefully the volume okay. I can turn down the desktop audio if the game music is loud. Please do let me know. Hi, Elixir! I'm going to try and actually call you by your new screen name, if people were not aware. Music is a bit too loud. Okay. Our wonderful mod has changed. Our wonderful mod Kira has changed their screen name, so you can now find them on here as Elixir Sarazan. You know, I don't think I ever knew your character's last name. Yeah, I don't think you ever shared your character's last name in during the game. And that, yeah, okay. So, since you're going by your D&D character's name from a previous campaign, are we playing tonight? The calendar says we are, but I don't know if that's actually true or not. Okay. Next week. Okay. I didn't think we were, but I had to verify because I couldn't remember. So I took an unintentionally lengthy break. I had planned to stream last Saturday on the 26th because that would have been exactly 1 year since my very first stream with Ultima 1, and I was going to start Ultima 5 last week. I woke up on the 25th, I woke up on the 25th, and I think I had a really bad, acid reflux night the night before. I don't know. Regardless, I ended up with a sore on the bottom of my tongue, and it made it really painful to talk. And my sinuses flared up entirely. So, last Saturday and Sunday, it didn't feel good to talk. So I canceled both days to give myself time to heal, and my tongue is fine now, and that's all better. Sadly, my ears refused to get better because my ears hate me. So ear congestion is still a thing, but I'm dealing with that. So yeah, I mean, that's a normal for me thing. And the symptoms that I have are not the symptoms of COVID, so I don't think it is that, and I don't know when I would have been exposed anyway. But hopefully you all stayed safe. Hopefully you had some good holiday time, or a good break from the hectic nature of the world if you do not celebrate the major Christian holiday that was foisted upon the world over the last week. Hopefully you managed to get some time to, celebrate everybody else being at home, or, well, they weren't at home, were they? They were all traveling through airports in a period of time in which not a good idea. Anyway, I'm going to steer away from that topic and just say I'm glad that you're all here. I'm hoping that you had a good time. We are going to be playing Ultima 5 today. We're going to be starting it. It felt really weird setting up stream because this is the first Ultima game that I have played on stream that has not had first playthrough as a tag, because it's not my first playthrough. I don't know if I ever finished the game as a kid. I know I played it a lot. Yeah, this is not my first playthrough of this game. This is the first game, I honestly think this is the first video game I ever played. I don't know, it's possible that I might have played stuff on the Atari 2600 before playing this. I just don't remember the timing. This is the first PC computer game that I do remember playing. I don't remember the game very much. Like, seriously don't remember it. But I know I played it as a kid. Ultima 5, Warriors of Destiny. Other than that, I don't remember much. So, that's the plan for today. Tomorrow, we'll be back to Mass Effect. Monday, we'll continue with Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick. And this coming Wednesday is the next Archival Adventures, looking at Australian pulp science fiction. So, yeah, this week is just fully back on into everything. The most generic game title in the batch. Yeah, I don't know that it has anything actually to do with the plot of the game. I think it's just a name. But that's okay. It has a special place in my heart because it was my first video game. Words. They disappear. Say something, but I don't remember what. Oh, I was gonna just... In my off time, since I can't play any of the stream games when I'm not streaming, I had time to finish playing Dragon Age 2, and I'm into my very first playthrough on PC of Dragon Age Inquisition. Oh, I never even looked to see if we had fixed that or made it. Kira, you made that command, and I'm sure it's great. So yeah, I never... I don't know what I'm saying. I played Inquisition before, but I played Dragon Age 2, and I was surprisingly... Dragon Age was amazing. I loved it. Do you remember being completely freaked out by the Shadow Lords? See, to me, the Shadow Lords were just part of the game. This was my introduction to the Ultima series, so this was what I was anticipating for the other games, which is why I think when I got to Pagan, I remember not liking it. I think it was Pagan that was the one that I got to, and I just didn't care for the interface. Or something. There was something about it that I didn't like. It didn't mesh with me. We'll see when we get there this next time as I play through everything what I think of it when I get to it. But as a kid, I was like, nope. I played a bit, but I know I didn't finish that one. So I don't remember if Pagan 8 or 9 or I just don't recall. Anyway, might be time to actually put the game up on screen. I think so. Pagan is 8. Okay. I did the troubleshooting. You can hear that I got the music working. I've got the DOS box to the right size for my screen, for the setup that I use. I managed to troubleshoot, and it took me an hour and a half to figure out how to import my character from Ultima 4, because it was not straightforward. It did require me to install a patch, a community-created patch. But I did get it working. So let me go ahead and I will bring up the Ultima screen. Alright. Have Ultima 5, Warriors of Destiny. Oh. Technically, it's the beginning of a new year, and I should mention the goals that are on the screen below me is a bits goal for the month of January. Happy New Year! And over on the side... Wait. Sort of over there, you can see where to support me on Ko-fi, and I do have a Ko-fi goal now for a new game desk. Burning Warriors of Destiny, yes. reason that I have a goal for a new gaming desk is that the desk that I've been at for 2 years was not purchased for its game friendliness. It was purchased to be a place where I sat occasionally at a non-rolling chair to paint minis. It has become my desk, thanks to the world, and then it became my gaming desk when I got my gaming PC. It has a drawer, which means that I'm lower than I should be for where the keyboard and mouse have to go. And so I put the chair up as high as it will go to get me up to the surface of the desk. But then the drawer bites into my my thighs, which hurts, and my feet barely touch the ground. So I need a new desk, is what I'm saying. So that is why there is a new desk goal. Anyway, if you choose to help, great. If not, that's fine too, and thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and maybe stuck in a loop because I just keep going escape and doesn't seem to be doing anything. You've outgrown your tiny desk and will need something bigger after moving. Oh, the desk! Oh, what? Wait, what happened? No. I need the main menu. Like, what's going on? I don't know what happened! A Lord British production. Ultima 5. Warriors of Destiny! Alright. Transfer from Ultima 4. Transfer character from Ultima 4. Please insert the Ultima 4 player disc and press the drive letter. Crap. I forget which drive letter I'm supposed to say it is. A. Alright. We have Aegon, who is a male. Avatar. No longer a bard. Now an avatar. Experience 9,999, level 8, strength 50, dex 49, intelligence 48. Keep this name. Yes. Keep the sex. Yes. Your sex. Thou art now an avatar. Experience has been converted. So 9,999. Can't you be a Barvatar? 9,999 goes to 999. Level 8 drops to 5. Strength of 50 goes to 25. Dex of 49 goes to 24. Intelligence of 48, 24. Ta-da! Let's view the Ultima 5 production, which we may have done, but we'll do again. The summoning. From nowhere, smoky wisps of clouds begin to form in the clear moonlit sky. In a few short moments, the sky is filled with dark, ominous clouds that completely block the moon's pale light. Your bedroom is bathed in quiet darkness as you lie, sleeping lightly. Something rouses you. Your eyes open sleepily, to be met by a soft blue glow reflecting from the wall. Slowly, you turn your head until you can see the source of the light. Take a quick breath as you see that the light is emanating from a shimmering suspended over your bed. As you look at the light, the darkening begins to appear. Enter. The darkening gradually materializes into a form you suddenly recognize as the symbol of the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. The last time you saw such as this was beyond the circle of stones in the nearby woods. That prior occasion marked the quest that forever changed the course of your life. Stare as the light begins to diminish and finally wink out. Something falls softly on the bed. Reaching out, you turn on the light at your bedside. There, lying before you, amulet. You hesitantly reach for it, gripping it tightly in your hand. Your finger automatically traces over the familiar etching on its surface. Finally! Finally! A sign from Britannia! It has to be! It could be nothing else. Jumping from the bed, you hastily pull on some clothes. With a few long strides, you cross the room to stand before a glass case sitting on a shelf. Visible under the glass, resting upon a velvet cloth, is the Ankh, symbol of your avatarhood. Reverently, you open the glass case and remove it. If what you think is happening is truly happening, then you have need of them. You open the door of your bedroom and step out. Hesitating, one hand on the door, you look back, wondering if you will ever return. Shaking your head of these thoughts, you pull the door closed, leave the house. With the aid of an occasional moonbeam piercing the dark cloud cover, you head for the circle of stones near the willow tree in the nearby woods. Strange shadows cast by the moonlight filter down through the tops. Thoughts of the past race through your mind. Your attention turns to the present as you see, just ahead, the circle of stone. Had you come here and sat for hours at a time, hoping to once again see the shimmering blue door that would allow you to return to Britannia, those whose friendship had come to mean so much. Never had the blue door reappeared. Less frequently it came until finally, sadly, gave up altogether. With renewed hope, you stand before the circle of stones, Ankh in one hand and the amulet in the other. Minutes slip by and nothing happens. Patience turns to anxiety. Gate must open. Mystical arrival of the amulet could mean nothing else. Long do you stand there, till your amulet slips from your grip and falls within the circle of stone. While you stare dejectedly at the amulet lying within the circle, you notice a bluish ring in the air above the amulet. Looking down at the Ankh in your hand, you see it is also enveloped in a soft blue glow. Carefully, you place the glowing Ankh beside the amulet. Instantly, a shimmering blue door springs up. Heart beating rapidly, you step into it. The arrival. Your senses are jerked from their momentary disorientation by a blinding streak of lightning that strikes with a thunderous crash not more than 100 feet from you. You are standing in a clearing surrounded by a dark and forbidding forest. Overhead, roiling black clouds fill the sky while thunder and lightning continue to crash around you. Lord Portico. Hi. Britannia! It must be Britannia! But something is wrong. Instead of the sense of elation expected upon returning here after all these years, you are overcome with a foreboding sense of wrongness. Also, I should note, you all may see a mod sword on Lord Portico's name, and that is because Lord Portico has joined me as a mod. Welcome, Torpedo, to the ranks of the moddiness. I read this. I hear a new mod, like a customer, from Sweeney Todd. My friend! Shouts someone from behind you. A familiar voice from the past causes you to whirl about. Racing toward you is Shimino, someone you thought you might never see again. Strongly grasping your hand, he exclaims, "We were afraid the summoning would fail. 'Tis nigh impossible to use any magic without invoking intervention from Blackthorn. Let us not tarry, for the summoning has surely not gone unnoticed." Trusting your friend's judgment, you hold your many questions until a safer time. Hastily, you retrieve the amulet and ankh that lie at your feet. Before you can move, the very darkness about you begins to swirl and change. 3 shapes begin to materialize in the murky gloom. "Shadow Lords!" hisses Shimino, who clenched. Quickly, he draws his sword and moves between you and the barely discernible shapes. The foremost apparition traces a pattern in the air with a wispy forefinger. An ebony black arrow solidifies before it and hangs suspended for a moment. Then, with a flick of its hand, the Shadow Lord casts the glowing bolt at Shimino. The arrow strikes him full in the chest. Dropping his sword, he sinks to the ground, lines of pain and something worse etched into his face. The dark forms close in around you. At your feet, Shimino's body convulses in pain. Not a sound escapes his lips. Without warning, the amulet, tightly gripped in your hand, emits a bright blue glow. Upon seeing the amulet, the Shadow Lords shrink back. The wispy shadows start to swirl and fade back into the inky darkness from whence they came. The fact that the amulet gives off a blue glow always made me think of Dragonlance, and the healing light being blue from Goldmoon's staff, and just solidified in my brain that healing is blue. Shimino lies upon the ground, body twisted in agony. Seahorses UK, thank you for the 500 bits and Happy New Year! Welcome, welcome! Those are the first bits of the year! And the goal didn't update, so thanks for that, Stream Elements! I don't know what happened. Stream Elements? You say 500 bits. Oh, there it goes. It's very delayed, apparently. We are reading through the opening of Ultima 5 at the moment, the introduction, which we did last time, I believe. So if you were here last time, then hopefully you've seen this. Otherwise, we woke up in our bedroom in our world, and there was a glowing blue light and an amulet fell onto the bed. We grabbed our ankh, went to the Circle of Stones, went through the door, and then Shimino showed up. We were beset upon by 3 shadowy dark figures, one of whom shot a bolt of blackness at Shimino, who collapsed on the ground, and the amulet started glowing blue and drove them off. And that gets you up to date. Shimino lies upon the ground, body twisted in agony, the dark arrow protruding from his chest. A normal arrow could not cause such pain. It must be the enchantment with which it was created. Realizing it must be removed, you jerk the arrow from Shimino's body and hurl it with all your might. Not actually good practice for arrows. Oftentimes they're barbed so that they will cause more damage coming out if you pull them back out the same way that they went in. Oftentimes, depending on their positioning and depending on how you can shift them, it's better to cut them in half and push them through the other side so that it makes a more clean cut rather than ripping it out and shredding the wound as it's exiting. And then you just stitch up the 2 wounds and you know, do the healing, because 1 wound front, 1 wound back. But that's often better and does less damage than pulling it out. So Gavel of Mandamus. Sorry, I'm just reading it, I'm like, no, that's not what you do with an arrow wound! The air about the arrow crackles as it flies into the darkness. Shimino's body relaxes. Inspecting the bloody wound, you notice it is already beginning to fester from the foulness with which the bolt was conjured. We will find aid at Iolo's, but it is but a short walk. Oh, sorry. We'll find aid at Iolo's. It is but a short walk to the east, Shimino mutters. With a grim determination, you help Shimino to his feet and half carry him out of the clearing and eastward through the forest. The story. Within a short time, the soothing sounds of a lute begin words. This font is actually somewhat difficult to read. Not an arrow to the knee, yeah. Within a short time, the soothing sounds of a lute being masterfully played can be heard through the forest ahead. Rounding a bend in the path, see a dim light emanating from a small hut nestled among the trees. Approaching the hut, you loosen an arm from around Shimino and knock on the heavy wooden door. The lute playing stops abruptly to be replaced by the muffled clinking of metal. "Who goes there?" demands a familiar voice from within. Leaning wearily against you, Shimino mutters, "Open the door, you son of a goat, before I donate all my blood to decorate thy doorstep." The door jerks open to reveal the familiar form of Iolo, standing framed within the doorway. Reaching out to help Shimino, Iolo turns to you with a grimace. "My friend, thou art a sight for sore eyes. I see that Shimino, as usual, has been unable to stay out of trouble." Casual remarks cannot mask his deep concern as he helps Shimino to a bed and carefully tends to his wound. After seeing to Shimino, Iolo fills 2 mugs with a foaming broth and beckons you to a coarse wooden table next to the warm hearth. "'Tis good to see thee after these many long years, my friend. It seems thy summoning didst not go unnoticed. From the looks of Shimino's wound, I'd say thou dost now know of the Shadow Lords." Tends to his wound correctly. Yes. Also, apparently, Shimino and Iolo are both blondes. I didn't know this. You recount to Iolo the events of your arrival. Your patience giving out, a flood of questions erupts from you. "Slowly, my friend," Iolo smiles. "Put thyself at ease, and I will tell thee of the bitter events that have brought us to these dark times. Not long after thy departure, Lord British and the most prominent wizards of Britannia gathered at his castle and called a meeting of the Great Council. Among the acts of the council was the sealing of the dungeons that lie beneath Britannia in hopes of entombing the foul denizens that dwell within. Some creatures still manage to escape, but their eyes are unaccustomed to light. They rarely roam the countryside by day, but wary must be the traveler by night. Another act of the Great Council, and by far the most difficult, was to raise the Codex from the depths of the abyss. Influx of the combined magical power of the Great Council disrupted the very bowels of Britannia. Where once was the abyss, now stands an immense mountain created from the molten lava that spewed forth. Unbeknownst to the Council, our new and glorious mountain left an enormous void over which all of Britannia rests. Exactly how volcanoes work. Some speculate that the dungeons may reach into this underworld void at their deepest levels. It is believed that the underworld has become a vast breeding ground for creatures who have grown into horrors far worse than their original form. A band of adventurers chanced upon a tunnel beneath the river that flows through Spiritwood, where one of these caverns collapsed, opening a passage to the underworld. They returned, weary and bewildered, with tales of creatures that mount the dark air and others that shake the ground. Lord British was intrigued by the tales and gathered an entourage of stalwart fighters to accompany him into the underworld. But his party was overwhelmed by the tremendous number and power of these creatures, though they fought valiantly. Panic erupted throughout Britannia when the sole survivor of the expedition returned with a small parchment upon which was recorded the dread tale of their journey. Iolo pauses momentarily as he reflects upon these dark thoughts. Blackthorn, a trusted but ambitious subject, took over the ruling of Britannia to calm the ensuing chaos. This we accepted until the Shadow Lords appeared. They corrupted Blackthorn in some manner unbeknownst to us. And Blackthorn's reign is now one of oppression and tyranny. Through him, the meaning of the virtues has been corrupted to serve the self-righteous. Shamino, myself, and others thou hast known have been declared outlaws by Blackthorn's regime and must skulk about as common criminals. We keep distance between ourselves so that we canst not be rounded up in one fell swoop. But this cannot go on forever. Sorry. I can't see fell swoop without saying swell foop, and I couldn't just go on with... Anyway, sorry. But this cannot go on forever. Blackthorn and those hellish Shadow Lords are bleeding Britannia. Rule must be restored to Lord British if he still lives. The gravity of the matter compelled us to risk a meeting. We arrived at the only possible answer. Attempt to summon thee, my friend. Aid us in our quest to discover the fate of Lord British. The risk was great, for no use of strong magical power goes unnoticed by the Shadow Lord. Felt there was no other choice. Shaking off the gloom of his tail, a jovial glint returns to Iolo's eye. He nods in Shamino's direction and says, "But since thou art here, my friend, and hath naught else to do, I'm sure. What say thee we nursemaid this poor excuse for an adventurer back to some semblance of health? Then embark upon our quest. If life still breathes within Lord British, we shall restore him as the rightful ruler of Britannia." That's the introduction to Ultima 5. I've already imported my character. I think it's time to journey onward? Journey onward! We have Aokon, Shamino, and Iolo. Currently, Shamino has 5 hit points. Yeah. We are sitting in a chair. Oh wow, this screen. So much nostalgia. Wow. Wow. Should we look at the manual? Because I have the manuals. And that's how we start with all of these games, right? Let's go here. So as you can see, there is a lovely map. And in the original release of this game, as with all of them, this would have been a cloth map included in the box. You can see the world, Caesarea, still has the same general continental shape. I'm going to read the Book of History, Organ Mike. Yeah, the Book of Lore. But first, the map. So, same general shape. Castle Britain, or Lord, it's still here. There's a castle down here that I think is new. We have, this was the Isle of the Abyss before. I haven't translated any of the labels on the map this time around, so I don't know exactly what it's called at the moment. But we have Moongate, Gate, those all make sense. Moongate here, Moongate here, Moongate here. There's a Moongate out on this island, which I think is new. I don't remember a Moongate being out here before, but, you know, I could be wrong. And then there's one here. So, general shape the same. You have the Book of Lore. Sorry, Data. The Book of Lore. Forward. The Book of Lore was commissioned by Lord British at the dawn of the Fifth Age as a compendium of common knowledge to this date. Its inspiration is the great prosperity and progress that has come about as a result of the defeat of the Triad of Evil and the rise of the Avatar ethic. Its purpose is to keep alive our understanding of the past and the present as safeguards for a bright future. The book also serves as a guide for youth and other travelers throughout Britannia. You didn't give me any points, you just said points. But thank you for the thought. I believe it is add points and you have to specify an amount. Oh, that gives 30 points to everybody. You do have to include the username too. I know, so many steps. You gave everybody 30 points. So congratulations everybody on the 30 points at the moment. I don't have any redeems for these points. Maybe at some point I will. Huzzah! I don't know. Now it says I have 35. Yep, I have 35 points. Woohoo! I think anybody can do exclamation points and get their point count. I might change that command to fun points or something like that in the future. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what else I can do. There are some like text-based games that we could probably implement where you can gamble your points. If you choose to do so. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the book. Right, UK, you have 3,085 fun points because you all get points just by watching. I had 0 points because I don't get points by watching. Folklore. Long before the ascendance to power of Lord British, Caesarea, as it was then known, was made up of numerous city-states. The 8 largest and most enduring of these are today the 8 leading towns in Britannia. So it's no longer Caesarea, it's now Britannia. Each city-state had its own ruler and some semblance of laws. However, there was constant bickering for power and resources, which meant that the smaller states often fell prey to the aggressions of the larger. The Crossing. During this time, in another world, an idealistic youth was growing discouraged. All around him he saw people pursuing personal wealth and power. Where were the heroes fighting for justice and prosperity for all people? Was there no leader willing to seek the way to a better world for everyone? The youth took to spending his days roaming the hill. One autumn day he came upon a rock-bordered clearing surrounded by towering oaks. From a bed of dry leaves, the glint of metal caught his eye. It was a silver medallion in the shape of a great serpent. In his hand, the medallion felt unusually warm. Suddenly, a line of blue light rose from the leaves, expanding to a door of shimmering light. The youth stared, astonished, then stepped through. Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? I don't know. The door disappeared, and autumn with it. Green fields now surrounded the youth. Feeling the medallion still in his hand, the youth slipped it into his pocket. He detected a wisp of smoke rising above a grove of trees in the distance and headed towards it. There he surprised a slender blonde man chopping wood. As the man looked up, the axe struck the wood awkwardly, glanced off, and opened a gash in his leather-clad leg. Sorry, I was unaware that there would be descriptions of large gaping wounds multiple times in this episode. The youth rushed forward to help, but the man put his hand up. Concentration replaced the pain that had flashed across his face. He knelt, touching his injured leg with one hand, tracing intricate patterns in the air with his other, and softly murmured. The bleeding stopped. The man stood up, brushing wood chips from his clothes. He smiled broadly at the youth's amazement, then spoke with a deep voice. I make my leg feel the pain, and I healed it too. I ought ha quit mine axin, but I dinna ken thart icumen. Oh, okay. So, my leg feels no pain, and I healed it too. I ought to have quit my axing, but I didn't know you were coming. The youth's eyes grew huge. He actually understood this strange new language. How did you heal your leg? Man's eyes twinkled. Why, 'tis the simplest of spells, nay? The man's name was Shimino. Didn't know Shimino was Scottish. And blonde Scottish, which is very odd. Hi, Hannah, how are you? Happy New Year! We are playing a new game today. We're starting Ultima 5. We're currently looking at the book of lore that would have come with the game. We read through the introduction earlier, but basically, we're back in Britannia as the Avatar. We imported our character from Ultima 4, and Lord British is somewhere in the underworld, and we need to save him. And in his place, some evil shadow lords are here, and there's an evil overlord dictator person, and all of our friends from Ultima 4 are outlaws. The man's name was Shimino. That night, the youth stayed in Shimino's house. The youth told Shimino about the land from which he came. Shimino could not fathom such a land, but believed the lad was sincere and telling the truth. What again was the name of thy birthplace? Cambridge, the youth smiled, in the British Isles. Shimino thought for a moment. I like that. I shall call thee British. The youth laughed, but accepted his new name. Initially British, looked diligently for a way to return to his homeland. But over time, his need to return to his own people lessened. It was only after he gave up looking for a way back that he discovered one. British made the journey several times. In fact, it's believed he brought back close friends to dwell with him in his chosen world. Oh, Hannah, thank you so much for buying a chai for me. You are helping me to replace my current desk that is not ergonomically good for me with a better desk that will be much better for sitting and gaming. So thank you so much for that. I got off track. Okay. Better desks. Yes, I need one that I can actually be at the right height for without hurting my legs. As well as one where I either can have my feet on the floor or high enough that I can have a footstool. One of the two. But the one that I'm at was not bought for gaming and is not well suited to it. So that is my goal with coffee currently, is to get enough money to buy a gaming desk. I'm going to return to reading after a sip of beverage. British made the journey several times. In fact, it's believed he brought back close friends to dwell with him in his chosen world. Iolo the Bard and the Knight Dupree are almost certainly his landsmen. Among the evidence of this is the aging process. It appears that a decade in our world is equivalent to a single year in the homeland of British. He and his countrymen age at 1/10 the rate at which we age. Through the years, British's deeds demonstrated both wisdom and bravery. As respect for him grew, British became the leader of a region of Caesarea, including many city-states, and was awarded the title of Lord British. So, the background here Like, this is retconning, but taking what already existed and just tying it into a tale, and it's pretty awesome. His Shimino, well, it doesn't explain Shimino, because Shimino was native, and Shimino's been there forever. But Iolo and Dupree... No, Shimino hasn't been there. Iolo was there in Ultima 1. 1 British year is 10 human years. Shimino has got to be fairly old, because he was there in Ultima 4. I don't know how long it's been since Ultima 4. But I think Shimino... Was Ultima 4 the first one with Shimino? Because Iolo has been there since 1. I think Dupree either was there in 1... No, Dupree may have shown up in 2 or possibly 3. Shimino was a king in Ultima 1. Yeah, so maybe Shimino is also from our world. And we just don't have that. Interesting. I had forgotten all of this. I know I read this as a kid, but I had forgotten all of it. 20 years since Ultima. Okay. Also, how did everybody enjoy Animal Crossing New Year's Eve events? Was that fun? I am sorry I didn't make it, but I hope that you all enjoyed visiting each other's island and celebrating the New Year last night. Love to hear that was. Oh, nobody make it to Tony's? Oh dear. Well, I hope everybody was able to have fun. Did it not work, Kira? That looks like the right command. I don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to reading, but... Okay. The First Age of Darkness. I'm distracted by chat, which is not a bad thing. I enjoy having you all here chatting. I hope that somebody showed up for Tony. The First Age of Darkness. At the time British arrived at Shimino's, a native lad was growing up in Caesarea, being trained in the ways of sorcery. He was a moody youth, given to sudden rages and fits of despondency. Offset the latter, he would take his dagger into the woods and hunt, leaving his prey to rot where they fell. He would return to his manor restored, strong in the confirmation of his power over life and death. His name was Mondaine, and Mondaine's strange ways were a constant worry to his father, a busy, much-respected mage. But when Mondaine was 15, his father took a stand. "Thou shalt take a year off from magic, Mondaine," his father said, "to improve thine attitudes and develop thy virtues. I have arranged for thee to live with the brothers in the abbey, where thou shalt practice compassion and humility. Learn thy lessons well, my son, and this ruby gem which harnesses the power of the sun shall be thine." Mondaine said nothing. The next night he slew his father and took the gem, for he was ready for power and his father was in his way. At the same time as Lord British was gaining a reputation for fair and honest government over his provinces and attracting attention for his startlingly innovative ideas, Mondaine was using his father's gem against itself to produce a black jewel that would render him and his evil immortal. Success meant gaining even greater power over the minions. Darkness. As terrors wrought by Mundane caused increasing unrest and dismay across Caesarea, British's ideas for unity of the city-states became more and more appealing. But the time was not quite ripe, for the widespread evil was beginning to take a tremendous toll. Something new was needed, thought British. He absently reached for the silver serpent he wore about his neck. Touching it in contemplation, he envisioned the kind of hero Caesarea needed to deal with Mundane. Within days, a stranger arrived in Caesarea. Utter devotion to truth and good, the stranger grew into a hero capable of facing Mundane. Eventually, the heroic stranger found the malevolent gem and destroyed it, along with its creator. With Mundane's destruction, the forces of evil began to wane. Interesting, the history doesn't mention that he defeated Mundane by donning a spacesuit, flying in space, and using a ray gun. Kira, it's not working for you. Why is it not working for you? It works for me. That's really bizarre. I don't understand, Kira. Because you definitely have the right permission levels in Stream Elements, so I don't know. Then we have Librarian Liz raiding with 14 raiders from Liz's library. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome to the Rogues Gallery. Thank you all for coming and joining us on this first of the year in 2022. Oh, Liz, thank you for bringing everybody by. Have fun with Bucky. And yes, if you are here and you're not already following Librarian Liz, you should definitely give a follow over to Librarian Liz. She is pretty awesome. Hi, Lemon Twist. Anybody who is familiar with the stream, I will just note that our mod Kira has a new screen name. So Elixir Sarazan is our mod who's been around for a while, and we have a new mod. Today is their first day actually with the little mod sword, and that is Lord Portico. So welcome to our new mod, Lord Portico. Welcome in everybody on the raid. Today we are starting possibly the very first video game I ever played, the first PC game I ever remember playing, which is Ultima 5, Warriors of Destiny. So that is what we were doing today. Oh, I will stretch. Thank you, Portico. You aim to mostly behave. I think you forgot a miss on there. Aim to mostly misbehave. And I will hydrate and make sure that I am doing correct posture. So we're currently reading through the lore in the game. So the game comes with a lore book, kind of gives the world history, the history of what happened in the previous games, and then we're gonna go into the actual self and if we can figure out what the heck we're supposed to do, because we don't know what we're supposed to do except that we have to save Lord British, who took a group of people down into the underworld to explore this new area that had been created by bringing the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom up from the depths of the abyss and in so doing caused a massive volcanic eruption that created a mountain where the abyss used to be, and apparently drained all of the magma from the interior of the world, leaving a vast underworld to be populated by monsters. So the king went down there and is lost. And while he was gone, Lord Blackthorn took over governing, but then 3 Shadow Lords showed up and corrupted him and are basically making evil the rule of the land. And so our friends called us back from our world into Britannia to help them to save the world. So that's the gist that we know so far. And we are looking at the lore book, and we just finished reading about the first Age of Darkness, which was a description of Ultima 1. So next we have the second Age of Darkness. But good was not to rise victorious for long. Mondaine's apprentice in sorcery was a beautiful young woman, underestimated because of her youth. Minax was furious at the defeat of Mondaine and at the destruction of his gem, whose existence she had surmised, and which she had intended to study and replicate for herself. Setting her fury aside, Minax decided to take control of the evils of the world without the gem. She succeeded. Through her network of beasts and her own frightening power, she rained evil upon the world. Again, Lord British sent out the call for a hero. Again, a stranger appeared. Again, the evil was hunted down and destroyed, and with the destruction of Minax, this stranger was able to alter the future of the world from destruction to peace. And yet again, still no mention of the ray guns and spaceships. Which are definitely part of the history, because they were part of the game. Also, I will mention for anybody who happens to be new here, I do retro games on Saturday, which is why we're playing this today. Tomorrow, on Sundays, I've been playing through the Mass Effect series, currently playing Mass Effect 2. Mondays, I play a variety of games, a randomized game that draws from a wheel that I spin, and so we're currently playing Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick, but there are a lot of more chill, cozy type games. Wildermyth is on there. Outer Wild on there, as well as I think Space Quest is still on there. I'm not sure. A Bard's Tale is on there. There's a variety of things that that viewers have added to the wheel over time. Currently, that redemption is not available because there are so many things on the wheel. But that's Mondays, and then on Wednesdays I stream an archives stream from where I work, and I share actual things from an archives that I work at. So yeah, that's that. If you think that's interesting, go ahead and hit the follow button so that you'll know when I go live. So the third Age of Darkness, which will be Ultima 3, decades passed in relative peace. Good leaders of the city-states turned more and more to Lord British for guidance, and Caesarea became a united land under his rule. Then, one day, a sailor reported to Lord British the appearance of a hitherto unknown island. Fiery and emanating terrifying evil, scouts began reporting malevolent occurrences that seemed to be the work of a great evil mind. Once more, Lord British sent out the call. This time 4 strangers appeared. They survived the horrors of great dungeons and, with the help of the mystical Time Lord, the heroes found the secret island fortress of Exodus, the only progeny of Mondaine and Minax, and annihilated it. The triad of evil was destroyed, and great celebration ensued. In honor of the day, they called the new world Britannia. And yet again, we omit some very important details. The fact that during the Third Age of Darkness, the map looked like Earth, and Exodus was a computer. So, ray guns, spaceships, and an evil computer have have all been eliminated from the lore so that we can stay in our sword and sorcery world without that extra technological bit that was part of the games. Then we have the Age of the Avatar, which will be Ultima 4. Whenever a Time Lord messes around with stuff, things get really strange. Indeed, a Time Lord was involved, and we know what happens on Earth when the Time Lord is involved. The Earthlings always forget. Since the book is being written for Britannians who don't have that technological understanding. Yeah. Tremendous growth and prosperity characterized the Age of the Avatar. The pursuits of scholarship, arts, and physical perfection flourished. Great castles of learning were established to study the principles of truth, love, and courage. The 8 city-states, now towns, united under Lord British, were each dedicated to fostering the study and spread of a single virtue. Thus, virtue blossomed and spread, science was born and began to grow at a healthy pace. Happiness became a reality. Now, Lord British called for a single individual to be an example for his people. Champion of great devotion and dedication, the stranger who answered discovered the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom within the great Wibbly wobbly, Britimey wimey. Good one, Portico, good one. The closing of... After the downfall of the Triad of Evil, and even after the Age of the Avatar, 8 terrible dungeons survive. Deceit, despise, dastard, wrong, shame, covetous, Hithloth, and the Great Stygian Abyss. When Lord British summoned the Great Council, they determined both to raise and enshrine the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom, and to seal the dungeon, those pits so conducive to the breeding of evil. And so they did. Thus ended the influence of great evil in the world. Evil in the world. Geography. Britannia's terrain is rich in variety, from white sandy deserts to thick lush forests, icy crags, or towering mountains. The largest portion of Britannia is grassland. Vast, rich, green grasslands and fertile farming. Fertile farming land stretch the vision and fill the heart with promise. For travelers, grasslands are fast and easygoing. Although grasslands afford no cover against the hostile creatures that roam them, they enable thee to see danger approaching and prepare for it. In the brush, seas of tall grass and scrubby shrubs, everything is as visible and as vulnerable as on the grassland. Only the going is slower and tougher. There is no advantage to traveling through the brush over grassland, unless thou doth need to reach a point within it, for it is well out of the way to circumvent it. Forests cover nearly all of northwest Britannia. The cool, redolent softness of the leaf-covered earth and the sweet air of the deep forests have enchanted many a traveler into a false sense of well-being, one of the most treacherous terrains. Dense, dark, and mysterious, the forests are haven to all sorts of creatures. Nor is the forest kind, for it allows no warning. Foe might be upon thee too quickly for thee to react. The deserts of northeastern Britannia are hot, dry, and easy to lose one's way in. Besides all sand looking much like all other sand, heat is apt to play tricks on the eye, misleading travelers with landmarks that are not really there. The hills are rustically beautiful, but climbing is time-consuming, even when the rise is gentle. Mountains are rugged natural barriers for anyone without proper equipment. Mountains are passable! Beware, however, of certain wild creatures to whom the rocky crags are home. The highest peaks are simply impassable. Swamps are generally poisonous, yet some life-giving herbs grow nowhere else. Some use the deadly mire as fortress against intrusion, for evil monsters dislike venturing into the putrid muck. At least some monsters like it. There are rumors of rare and strange monsters that thrive on the swamps and use them to devour their... Besides the toxicity, slogging through the slime and hip-deep ooze of the swamps is an extremely slow business. Waters. Britannia's vast oceans are fed by many rivers and streams that find their origin in mountain lakes and jungle swamps. There are two major lakes. Lost Lake, in western central Britannia, feeds Lost River, which empties into the delta on the northwestern shore by means of a network of tiny estuaries. Loch Lake, in north central Britannia, is actually a cut-off inlet from the sea and still has a mix of salt water. Britannia's third largest lake, the one-time picturesque Lake Generosity, was a casualty of the Great Drought of the Northeast and is now simply a bed of dry sand. Whether river, lake, or sea, shallows are bubbly and impassable for large ships. Coastal waters are ripply, deep enough for tall ships, calm enough for small boats. And deep ocean waters are rough, bumpy, and dangerous for all but the largest frigates. So it sounds like we have two different kinds of ships now. Government. Under Lord British, Britannia has undergone a great transformation from totalitarian monarchy, representative democracy, in what is called a monarchic republic. Instead of the single rule of the King Lord British, Britannia is ruled by a combination of Lord British and a council comprised of representatives from each of the 8 towns. Although his intent for the future was that each town elect its representative to the council, the first council was determined by appointment. British traveled to each town, spending long hours with its leaders to determine the right choice for the first council. The historic first meeting of the Great Council consisted of 2 parts. First, Lord British met with the council members and outlined his vision of participatory government. It was as follows. This council and Lord British would begin to build a document based on nature and reality that set forth those rights of the people that should never be usurped. British believed that the 8 virtues of the Avatar would play a major role in the nature of the document. Once adopted, the document would be binding on everyone, including Lord British himself. Each year, a council member would be elected by each town. That council member would conduct town meetings at regular intervals to determine problems in the town and to become acquainted with the needs and interests of the people. Several times a year, at regular intervals, the council member would travel to Britain to sit on the Great Council. Anarcho-syndicalist commune. The council would ponder problems that occurred in Britannia and decide if the problems were in the purview of the government. If so, they would determine the course of action government should take, perhaps writing a law, perhaps repealing a law, perhaps altering ways and means. Council recommendations would then be presented to British, and he could accept them or object to them. If he objected, his own rules would require him to sit with the council to try to work out solutions acceptable to all. Nevertheless, Lord British reserved to himself the power of veto in the event that agreement could not be reached. Come and see the bureaucracy inherent in the system! Come and see the bureaucracy inherent in the system! It does. It does, Mike. At that first gathering of the council, Lord British withdrew from the meeting after presenting his plans, directing the council to discuss the ideas and his rule in general. After several days, the council was ready to present its findings. Its members were unanimously in favor of the new government plan Lord British had presented, and so it was enacted. The first meeting continued for 1 month. Half the time was spent pounding out the new constitution, and half the time was spent discussing affairs, in what was to become normal council fashion. Since that time, the council meets for 2 weeks, 4 times a year, beginning on the solstices and the equinoxes. The monarchy continues in some respects. Crown jewels, for example, can continue to define the office of ruler, both figuratively and, by their magic content, truly. These precious emblems consist of the jewel-encrusted crown, believed to contain a perfect ray of sunlight, pure gold scepter, topped by the crystal orb of power, and the silver amulet in the shape of the mighty earth serpent, said to have come from another world. Economy. The chief industry of Britannia is farming, but it is the distribution of farm products and other goods through a wide network of merchants that is most visible. Pubs and inns thrive throughout Britannia. Forges of weapons and armor for stalwart adventurers are common. and healers and the sellers of herbs and reagents flourish. Farming is the major occupation of most rural areas. Farms produce wheat, corn, barley, and in season, all the sumptuous fruits and vegetables Britannians love. Many shops and enterprises are available to citizens and knights throughout the land. Armories provide a market for both weapons and armor. Consolidation! Woo! Honestly, I don't care for economic consolidation that much, but in-game, buying armor and weapons at the same shop is a big deal. They were separate shops before. They love a balanced diet. Most armories will consider buying used equipment as they recognize the likelihood that one will then need new. The prices they will pay vary, but expect not nearly full value as they must make a profit on resale. Types of goods sold also vary among armories. Shoppers may have to visit many armories to find the wares they seek. Stables are not found in many cities, but there are a few in castles and private residences that will consider selling to the public. Most stables deal in strong plow horses, rugged mountain horses, swift steppes horses, and a few even have Valorian steeds, which are most excellent war horses. All carry full supplies for the well-equipped rider. Meals purchased at markets or in restaurants are often delicious and comfortably filling, but will not sustain travelers long on the road. Most markets offer travelers packs of rations in quantity. Prices vary greatly from town to town. Pubs are oft found in markets and inns. Good ale and stout is complemented by a well-cooked leg of mutton, a fresh pheasant, or a juicy side of beef. A good customer may find the chef offering a taste of the day's special, and of the local gossip as well. Some of the best eating houses and pubs have music provided by minstrels. Do not hesitate to speak to the musicians and let them know how much their work is appreciated. Some musicians may have something interesting to tell, or may become friends or supporters. But do they have eggs? Indeed. Will they sell me raw eggs? Because my himbo cleric of death wants to drink those eggs raw because all he does is work out and drink raw eggs. Nobody understands. Pub owners are a friendly lot. They chat with their clientele and they listen well. A good tipper may learn something very interesting in a pub. Healers have shops in many cities and villages and in some castles and keeps. Bold knights frequently incur serious wounds. Poison and plague also take their toll. Fortunately, medicine is advanced in the treatment of just the problem. While it is hard to say any price is unfair for saving a life, some healers are known for their reasonable prices and others are not. Garbrai's healer has not been known to heal even those who has been known to heal even those who cannot pay at all. Few health problems are beyond the ken of the healers, whether disease, wounds, or poison. Some healers are even experimenting with the concept of resurrection. There have rumbled persistent rumors of magical resurrection techniques being used by extremely adept mages within close-knit secret groups. There is still some controversy over whether such techniques should be pursued, but Lord British is known to have supported the research at every turn. Apothecaries are experts in growing and preparing herbs and reagents for magic. Shops generally offer mostly locally available reagents, although some apothecaries have better facilities for importing than others. Climate and terrain have a lot to do with plant availability and the consequent variable prices. Shop carefully, for the shop that has the best price on one herb or reagent may have the worst on another. Inns are a source of pride for several Britannian towns and villages. They are comfortable and reasonable and usually provide a good, healing night's rest. Inn in the island city of Scarabrai even boasts a magnificent view. Most inns also provide for long stays. If a party member has a long-term need for lodging, the party can rent a room by the month and pick up the friend at a later date. Shipwrights are found in several port cities. These are where frigates and skiffs are built. Since shipbuilders are usually busy building ships, their shop hours are often short and sporadic. A lot of S's. When the shipwright is in, one can buy skiffs alone, which are not very expensive, or frigates, which are very expensive and generally come with skiffs on board. Guilds carry the ancient symbol of the thieves' trade, though many a good adventurer oft has need for their goods. In olden times, guilds sold such items as lockpicks, various kinds of glasses for seeing what the naked eye cannot, equipment for working clandestinely in the dark, and the like. The government, symbolized by the crown and the scales of justice, has its seat in the castle of Lord British, the King, but the government offices, where the day-to-day administration takes place, reside in U, the town of Justice. This center houses the High Court of Justice and the public prison for all Britannia. Settlements. The Castle of Lord British, headquarters and home of Lord British, located on Brittany Bay. Those aspiring to the way of the Avatar should become very familiar with this landmark. The marble and tile castle has been enlarged and improved since the age of the Avatar. Now 5 stories, the castle has among its many features 2 kitchens, an excellent armory, a rooftop observatory, and the finest stable in the land. The Lyceum in the northwestern corner of Verity Isle, ever searching the skies, the observatory tower that crowns Britannia's center of learning, can be seen from many leagues across the ocean. Libraries and laboratories, writing desks and discussion rooms, and every known tool for the discerning of truth are housed here. Empath Abbey, nestled quietly against the sheltering trees of the deep forest just southwest of U, this cloister of love lies open to all of good heart. Here, by the shores of the calming sea, the sisters and brothers of Empath Abbey retreat to meditate, growing ever nearer to understanding the answers that will benefit us all. Serpent's Hold, staunchly guarding the deep harbor of the Isle of Deeds. Itself bulwarked by mountains and streams, the Serpent's Hold stands as a monument to the courage of all who fight for good. In this stronghold are gymnasium, to hone the body, and training fields on which to hone thy battle skills. Here also are healers to tend thy wounds, and sunny strands to heal thy soul. And finally here too are comrades in arms, sharing stories of honor, valor, triumph, and restraint, which are perhaps the greatest teachers and healers of all. The towns and villages. Britain, principal town of the Empire of Britannia. The busy seaport of Britain lies in central Britannia on Brittany Bay. Because of the large number of visitors to Lord British's castle who pass through or headquarter in Britain, the Bards headquartered in this town of compassion and the arts put their emphasis on hospitality. Britain has a large hotel and outstanding pubs, and there is also an armory wherein thou canst buy the finest bows made. The Brittany. These 3 important suburbs, recently sprung up around Lord British's castle, provide many of the goods and services needed by the court of Lord British. East Brittany specializes in shipbuilding and boasts a fine healer. North Brittany offers a small, rustic inn and fine stables among its several farms. West Brittany is a farming town, supplying its own needs and those of the 4 surrounding settlements, including the castle of Lord British and Britain. Buccaneer's Den. This island village lies due east of Paws. Said to be a center for thieves and blackguards to this day, Buccaneer's Den is a thriving town that often offers some exotic shopping, as well as an inn, restaurant, armory, and shipbuilder. Cove. The magical village of Coves nestles among the mountains south of Loch Lake. Cove's healers and alchemists are among the best in Britannia. Here too is the magnificent Temple of Virtue, built to honor those on the quest of the Avatar. Jalome. Far off the mainland, among the mountains, on the central and largest of the Valorian Isles, the bustling town of Jalome provides food and lodging to visitors as well as to its fighters and the students of valor. A fine armory and shipwright ensure safe access to the mainland. Minnoch. This town in north-central Britannia is renowned for the fine metalwork and armor of its tinkers. Minok is the center for studying the virtue of sacrifice. The homeless of Britannia are welcomed in Minok. Here they find refuge in the mission of the helpless, with ready access to a fine and charitable healer. Located on the northern coast, Minok has a large shipwright as well as its famous armory. Moonglow. Honesty, the quest for truth, is foremost to the mages of Moonglow. In fact, they abide no dishonesty and have no room for those who do. This town, tucked on a southern tip of Verity Isle, has good food, reasonably priced herbs, and a fine observatory. There are rumors that thou mayest see thy future here. New Maginsia. A town built upon the ruins of old Maginsia by a colony of humble people who understand well the dangers of false, self-serving pride and the beauty of humility. New Maginsia has a healer and a restaurant tucked among its numerous modest farms and orchards. Pause. A village nestled on a cove near the southern edge of the Fens of the Dead, midway between Britain and Trinsic, Pause provides food and shelter for the traveler, as well as a change of horses. Scarabrai, a center for rangers. Scarabrai is a city immersed in the study of spirituality. The city lies on the southernmost of 3 isles, just west of Spiritwood. A gentle town of kind, thoughtful, and generous people, Scarabrai houses a fine but inexpensive inn, an excellent apothecary, and a healer who uses physical, magical, and spiritual medicine. Those in need are always welcome at the Scarabrai healer and can be healed regardless of their wealth. Trinsic. On a grassy plain on the southeastern shore of Britannia, Trinsic's honorable paladins impress visitors with their courage and devotion to truth. A sunny town of marble buildings and shaded parks, Trinsic has a lovely pond, an armory, a healer, and a fine stable. Yew. Long a gathering place for druids in their pursuit of justice, Yew is the site of the Supreme Court of Britannia and nurtures the great legal and judicial minds who practice there. Besides the courts, jail, and penal areas, Yew has one of the best restaurants, with a fine pub, an armory, and an apothecary. Nestled beneath the deep forest, Yew is second in population only to Britain. The keeps are fortified manors, often isolated away from towns and villages. While many are personal retreats, some are schools for young people, cloisters, and organizations. Lighthouses. Rustic lighthouses were built throughout Britannian waters during the recent years of peace. Their bright presence has dramatically lowered the number of ships breaking up on reefs and shoals in darkened storms. Adventurers are generally characterized by professional affiliation: mages, bards, and fighters. Druids, magicians who draw their very powers from nature and natural phenomena, are regarded as a subset of mages. Tinkers are bards with a special knack for building or repairing, who serve as keepers of our oral history as they move from town to town. And paladins, shepherds, and rangers, long having fought valiantly at the side of elite fighters from the Valorian Isles, are generally associated with fighters. Of course, mages, bards, and fighters are not always adventuring. Often they may be found among the general populace, along with villagers, merchants, minstrels, jesters, farmers, beggars, and guards. Lots of reading today. Mages. Mage is the title subsuming all Britannians endowed with full magical powers, and for whom magic is primary. Pardon me. Mages tend to settle in Moonglow, enjoying its proximity to the scholarly and esoteric treasures of the Lyceum. Indeed, many youngsters who show magical leanings early are sent to live with groups of mages near the Lyceum and are schooled in its ways from an early age. Others favor Yew for its emphasis on nature. Skill in magic requires serious study. With such sedentary childhoods, it is no wonder that most mages are not very strong. Do not, however, take that to mean that they are not healthy. As a group, mages tend to live longer than any others. Bards excel in dexterity and poise. They rightly choose professions that make good use of their talented hands and agile bodies. Minstrel, archer, locksmith, and tinker are just a few. Fearless in battle, bards are often as quick of mind as of hand, and their magic abilities are keen. Although their power for magic is half that of mages. Britain is a favorite gathering place of many bards. Others, especially tinkers, are based in Minot. In the isolation of the Valerian Isles, valorous fighters are trained in the arts of battle. Bards are definitely locksmiths. My brain quit for a second, sorry. In the isolation of the Valerian Isles, valorous fighters are trained in the arts of battle. Strong and fearless, the fighters of Jalom can overcome any foe. They are trained in all weapons, and they show dexterity in all armor. Most fighters prefer the sword or bludgeoning weapon, for they have the strength to wield the heaviest two-handed sword and do extreme damage. Often found fighting beside the best of Jalom are the paladins of Prinsic, the fierce rangers of Scarabrai, and the humble shepherds of New Magintia. Although fighters enjoy the advantages of magic, they do not practice it and seldom show any tendencies of talent in that direction. They do show an almost magical intuition about animals. No people train horses or outthink monsters better than fighters. Transport! Most traveling in Britannia is done on foot, even though it is rough going, slow, and dangerous. There are alternatives for those who can afford and handle them. Many travelers enjoy riding on horseback. It is faster, less tiring, and a lot safer than walking, since horses can outrun many of the hostile types of creatures. Know, though, that horses cannot travel over water and are apt to wander away, with or without encouragement, if not properly secured when left. Ships. Visiting island communities requires travel by ship. Despite rather outlandish rumors of people wandering the heavens in great airships, sailing on water is the fastest and most popular long-distance mode of transportation there is. The most common watercraft on the ocean are frigates, tall, stately three-masters. The frigates cut through seas swiftly and smoothly. They generally have a two-level open deck and a below deck with a forward cabin, rear bunk room, and center cargo hold. Most ocean-going frigates are built to accommodate heavy cannons for broadside fighting and have two gangplank gateways on each side. Speedy it is, but ocean travel is fraught with dangers, especially after dark near rocky coasts. Many unpleasant monsters populate the deep. Pirate ships are always on the lookout for moneyed prey. We don't travel by Seahorse, Elixir. Skiffs. Small, double-locked rowboats used as lifeboats on frigates, skiffs can make their way through all but the shallowest mud or swamp. I remember sailing the rivers! Oh my gosh! Widely used for exploration of riverheads and mountain streams, they are also occasionally found being put to more recreational uses in towns. They provide a charming way to follow the little estuaries that crisscross Britannia. In fact, there are said to be little-known places unreachable by any other means. However, skiffs are unsafe on deep ocean waters. Speed is critical on the open seas. There are many dangerous inhabitants of the deep will overtake and attack slow ships. Speed is optimized by traveling perpendicular to the wind. Angling directly into the wind affords only the slowest passage possible. When the wind dies completely, there is no option but to resort to the oars. Too close to shore, speed can be fatal, and sails should be replaced with oars for careful maneuvering. Unfortunately, many foolhardy captains have run their ships up on reefs and shoals at full speed under sail, losing ship and crew. Those that survive such wrecks have had to hole up and repair their vessels. Since expensive repairs take quite a while to accomplish, it is important to hole up in safe harbors for this repair work. So, ship travel has gotten more complicated, it sounds like. Astronomy. The definitive work in astronomy is Celestial Britannia by Sir John, astronomer and scribe at the Lyceum. This passage is comprised of excerpts from his book recording his scientific discoveries and documenting Britannian astral theories that predate the emergence of science. In the heaven beyond our skies dwell stars whose numbers are beyond our reckoning. Within our heavens, circling our worlds, sweeps our bright sun. 10 other orbs trace tight paths around our world. The twin moons, Trammel and Felucia, are desolate, their light only a reflection of the sun's brilliance. The other 8 orbs are thought by some to be planets like our own. According to the roles they play in our many legends, they have been named for the virtues of the Avatar. The closest is honesty, followed further by compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. Many tales are told of knights traveling from town to town, even across water, merely by stepping into a wall of light. There are few verifiable reports of Moongate travel. However, sifting through those reports that are verifiable, it has become clear that they operate as follows. Each night at the apex of the first moon, Trammel, the 8 moon gates appear, rectangles of shimmering blue light rising from the ground. They remain until Felucia reaches her apex. While the moon gates are open, a traveler entering one will be instantly transported to another moon gate in a different locale. The traveler's destination is determined by the phase of the moon closest to midheaven. Moongate travel is said to be fast and safe. However, there have been confusing and conflicting reports of what transpires when the moons are equidistant to midheaven. Moongate travelers should exercise caution. Over the ages, comets, fiery nebulae, have torn through our skies as harbingers of impending doom. They appeared just before the emergence of the Dark Lord Mundane. They heralded the reign of the Enchantress Minax, and they foretold the impending danger of the Hellborn Exodus. Now, while we live in the midst of peace and enlightenment, the comets have begun again. Alright, so when the moons are equidistant in the midheaven. I'm uncertain exactly what that means, but apparently there's danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Language. The language of Britannia is rich and poetic. When the moon is in the 7th house, in the 7th house, Jupiter. 7th house, according to this, is spirituality. Equidistant at midnight. Thank you, Mike. The language of Britannia is rich and poetic. It is derived from Old Caesarian, which varies mostly from the widespread current language in its alphabet, which is more runic than today's. The old runes continue to be widely in rural areas, and there is a movement to increase their familiarity to city people. Still, among the city-born, translation of runic messages letter for letter is sometimes necessary. The runic alphabet is the earliest known system of writing sounds using runes or letters. The most commonly used runes follow, with their modern equivalents. We know most of these, but now we have a double E, and a TH, and an ST, and an EA, and an NG. Sorry, this is not the runic language that I taught myself to write fluently in high school, but it has some similarities. I was staring at the TH especially. Anyway, music! This is an aspect of this game that has stuck with me for years. Music is much loved throughout Britannia, those wealthy enough to often own a harpsichord, and the better pubs employ a good lute-playing minstrels to entertain their patron. Do I want my heroes to be swole? I don't know. I mean, I definitely want some strong ones. But spelling's generally not a good thing. Without question, the best known name in folk music is that of Iolo Fitzowen. Iolo has a last name now, y'all! It's Fitzowen! The best known name in folk music is that of Iolo Fitzowen. Stones, a ballad about the mystic shrines, has long been popular among bards and the common folk. It is known to be a favorite of His Majesty Lord British as well. Fitzowen's masterwork, with lyrics by his wife Gwenllian. Sorry. It looks Welsh, and I cannot pronounce that. Is a sample of fine music. I don't know how to pronounce Welsh, and that definitely looks very Welsh. Depends on how much time you want to commit to the game, but the Karma Death Rebirth training regimen. Oh, yeah, that. Apparently, Elixir, he has two names. Ooh! Long ago ran the sun on a folk who had a dream, the heart and the will and the power. They moved earth, they carved stone, molded hill, and channeled stream, that we might stand on the wide plains of Wiltshire. Now men asked who they were, how they built, and wonder why that they wrought standing stones of such size. What was done neath our shade, what they prayed neath our skies, as we stood on the weird plains of Wiltshire. Telegraph, that sounds interesting. An Avatar, 3 mages, and 2 bards. That is an interesting party. Oh, what secrets we could tell if you'd listen and be still. Rid the stink and the noise from our skirts. You haven't got the clue, and perhaps you never will. Mute we stand on the cold plains of Wiltshire. Still we loom in the mist as the ages roll away, and we say of our folk, they are here. That they built us and they died, and you'll not be knowing why, save we stand on the bare plains of I don't remember this song at all. As far as the lyrics. 3 important lessons have been derived from the great battles with evil in our past. The foremost is that neither magic nor prowess at arms, nor purity of spirit alone is enough to defeat evil. Only the careful coordination of arms with magic by the virtuous will bring victory. Second lesson is basic. Prowess comes only with practice and experience. The third lesson is this: the use of force against the innocent will always bring retribution. Armaments have improved greatly over the years. Today's knights have a great selection of weapons and armor at their disposal. In addition, fortunate knights may come across magical rings and amulets to wear or use. Before battle, knights can ready several items of equipment carried by their party: helms, shields, suits of armor, and weapons from daggers to halberds. Weapons can be dropped or exchanged in the midst of battle, but no enemy has ever waited while a knight changed armor. Strength and endurance may get a knight through a few battles, but none survive long without developing tactical skill. Successful knights learn to watch for mistakes the enemy makes. Successful leaders learn to design strategies around the strengths and weaknesses of their party. In particular, fighters are known for their strength and ability to wield great weapons while wearing the heaviest of armor. In general, they are most effective when formed into a shield wall in the frontmost ranks. There are exceptions. Desperate situations where an offensively well-armed fighter may do well to charge headfirst into enemy ranks, attacking the key members. Bards, while weaker than fighters, are proficient archers because of their keen sight and excellent dexterity. Their dexterity enables them to regroup faster and strike more blows against their opponents. Thou shalt count the number 3. 5 is right out. Let's see. Mages, who are not as strong, often prefer to avoid warfare entirely, spending their time instead in scholarly pursuits. However, those mages who choose to defend the crown are among the most fearsome foes of evil. An accomplished archmage may annihilate an entire horde of monstrous enemies with a single. Missile weapons, such as bows and crossbows, are essentially useless in hand-to-hand combat. Nearby foes are apt to seize the opportunity to interfere with an archer's fire, as they do with the mage's with a magic user's spellcasting. For this reason, mages and bow wielders are generally best placed behind a cover of fighters, where they can effectively deliver their blows. However, when a spell of cataclysmic and widespread effect is needed, a mage often must venture to the front lines and seek a niche in the shield wall from which to cast his spell, so the spell will not act to destroy friends as well as enemies. Whew. Armaments! The most courageous knight shows good sense to wear strong armor in any expedition. Full body armor, helmets, shields, magical rings, and jewelry, and other magical trinkets are all worthwhile, but they are also expensive. Body armor comes in a range of styles and degrees of effectiveness. Cloth, usually little more than heavy quilted gambeson, worn below a tunic. Cloth armor is inexpensive and comfortable, but it affords only limited protection. Leather, a cut above cloth, yet also fairly inexpensive. Leather armor is made from thick leather hardened by boiling, often in paraffin. Scale, fashioned from 4 to 6 inch square overlapping plates attached to cloth or leather gambeson, scale armor looks like its namesake, fish scale. Although scale is often somewhat noisy, it offers good protection. Chain. Chainmail is fashioned from small loops of metal wire linked in a manner to make something resembling metal cloth. Best chainmail has each link actually riveted shut. Chainmail provides very good protection but is quite expensive. You know, this was my childhood. It's no wonder I love the Ren Fair. And D&D and things like that. Plate. Custom made from hand-forged sheets of metal, plate armor affords its wearer the most complete protection possible. However, it is very expensive and can be borne by only the strongest. Helms often match body armor in material and strength, but variations such as offensively spiked helmets are available. Shields also vary greatly, but all war rigs call for shields. Any use of two-handed weapons precludes them, and they require some strength. Yet many thank shields for their lives. Weaponry. The weapon is the most important material choice an adventurer has to make. A wide range exists. Daggers offer 2 choices. The common dagger is useful when its ability to be concealed is a benefit, and it can be thrown in open combat. The main gauche is more formidable, especially when used as a second weapon. Swords continue to be the most popular weapon. There are long and short swords and two-handed swords. Missile weapons are carried by most experienced knights, no matter what weapon they keep ready in their hand. It is always an advantage to fell thine enemy from afar when possible, before the threats of his hand weapons can reach thee. Inexpensive and easy to port is the sling, and ammunition is plentiful in open country. Bows come from craftsmen in the forest and the deep forest. Made from strong and resilient yew, bows and their stronger counterparts crossbows make formidable long-range weapons. Be aware, however, that one engaged in hand-to-hand combat is unlikely to be able to load such a weapon, much less shoot it. Some knights prefer missile weapons they can hurl without mechanical aid. Popular throwing weapons include daggers, spears, axes, and flasks of flaming oil. We don't flame. We might flame them. The effectiveness of most weapons depends upon the dexterity of the weapon's wielders, but mass weapons are often preferred by the very strong, if not so nimble, because these bludgeons depend upon the great strength of the wielder to crush through an opponent's defenses rather than evade them. Oldest of all bludgeons, and probably of all weapons, is the club. Clubs are crude weapons, but when a blow connects, it often does the trick. The mace is much more streamlined than the club. Its weight is balanced to derive the most possible effect with the most possible accuracy. A mace on a chain is the Morning Star, which reaches over obstacles to smite thy foe at range. One blow straight on from this and the enemy is out till morning, at least. Finally, there is the two-handed hammer. It takes great strength to wield it, but the hammer can inflict devastating damage. Polearms require much strength to wield, but they're extremely effective. Most popular among those strong enough to wield it is the halberd, a long, stout staff with a battle-axe blade at the end that allows the wielder to strike a foe at twice the distance of most weapons. Wild creatures, intelligent and not, roam the countryside. Others frequent the waters. Few of these creatures are evil, but many attack out of hunger or when surprised. Creatures of the land and sky. Insect swarm. Pesty. Pesty insects have little muscle or brain, but their tiny size lets them move quickly, dodging and feinting. They bite more often than they miss, but their sting does little damage. Once hit, all insects are easily squashed. Rare is the insect that delivers a fatal bite, but a swarm of thousands can mean death. Bats. These annoying creatures live by night, usually, and travel in flocks. Often their high-pitched screech is heard before they are seen. Though flighty and hard to hit, bats are not difficult to kill, and as attackers they are relentless and vicious. Giant rats. Natural ability and sharp teeth, charm, are rats' chief advantages. They are not strong and do not hit very hard. The mortal danger rats pose to knights comes from their capacity for passing on noxious germs and substances. Seldom do knights tangle with rats without someone in the group becoming ill with poison. At worst, the result of such an encounter is infection with plague. Slimes. In appearance, slimes are gooey green splats. They are weak, clumsy, and not very damaging individually. But they almost always travel in schools, and when a slime is hit, it's apt to split into two healthy hostile slimes. If the slime does not split, it succumbs quite easily. Slimes carry no booty. Giant spiders. Although weak and slow, spiders take their toll. They poison, both on touch and by spitting venom from a distance. Spiders have been known to carry few goods. Snakes. Extremely poisonous and quite accurate when shooting their poison from a distance. Snakes are otherwise relatively harmless. They are easy to destroy once engaged directly. Orcs, which in the illustration look very much like apes. Orcs are often more annoying than dangerous to the seasoned adventurer, but they can be a grave threat to the novice, especially when they travel in large groups or are accompanied by a giant or two. Generally, they are fairly easy to defeat with a modicum of damage if they hit and carry meager belongings. Trolls. The large, misshapen humanoids that like to live underground, trolls are strong and dexterous and can cause moderate damage to their victims. Fortunately, they are not very enduring. Trolls tend to lie in wait to ambush unsuspecting travelers. Trolls like treasures and often carry some with them. Etten. Strange two-headed creatures, Ettins hurl large boulders with enough strength to do considerable damage. Though not magical, they are quite hardy and often carry a good many interesting belongings. Gremlin. The blow of a gremlin is hardly felt, and he is not very hard to do in. But beware, for he travels in huge packs and he may leave you starving. The gremlin's ability to consume food at an inordinate rate is startling and dismaying. Oh, once overcome, he usually leaves some goods. Headlesses. No one knows exactly how the senses work on these mutant abominations. Do they sense the world only through touch and feeling, or do they see with some inner vision? Whatever the answer, these relatively strong creatures are fairly enduring and do mild damage to their foes. They tend to carry goods with them. Gazers. Giant magical floating eyes, gazers mesmerize their foes. Turning them against each other, they make up for their weak, clumsy physique with strong intelligence and a fairly good constitution. Mimics. Masters of imitation. Mimics make themselves so like treasure chests that many an adventurer has met his doom trying to open one. Mimics have little courage and even less patience, so if one is willing to wait a few minutes just a few steps away from suspect chests, they are apt to reveal themselves by shooting poison. Close up, mimics bludgeon with strength and dexterity, doing unpleasant damage. Getting past their deadly deceptions can reveal fine treasure. Reapers. The strange, magical creatures known as Reapers are strong, enduring, and do severe damage by bludgeoning. Their weakness, if it can be so called, is their immobility. Although their arms strike out about them, they cannot change location. They throw magical bolts at distant foes. They also bludgeon nearby creatures with their thick tentacles. Reapers are quite hardy, but often worth the trouble. They hoard good booty. Wisps. It simply is not known exactly what a wisp is. Harmless-looking little bits of flashing light, wisps are extremely agile and highly intelligent. Although they are not strong, they do serious damage, taking their victims by surprise again and again, blow after blow. They often attack in large groups, and they teleport from place to place on the battlefield. Worst of all, they can magically possess members of the opposing party. Wisps seem to have impossibly strong constitutions and are quite difficult to destroy. I mean, there's been a lot of booty going on in these monster descriptions. Sand traps. This one's Sand traps burrowing in the sand are nearly impossible to notice, but a party passing too close to one is in for trouble. Strong and agile, these desert monsters strike out at anything that comes near their hiding places, and they hit very hard. They are also very hardy, and their endurance has meant the demise of more than one adventurer. When a sand trap is overcome, however, generous treasure is revealed in the sand. Dragon. Strongest and most feared creatures, dragons shoot extremely damaging magic fireballs and are nearly impossible to defeat. They can attack while in flight and may do in an entire party before it has a chance to engage in close combat. Killing a dragon, however, can earn the slayer great treasure. Sharks. Strong and agile in water, sharks are not particularly intelligent and cause little damage to creatures that are not in. Despite their frightening appearance, they can endure quite a beating before dying. Seahorses. These graceful, appealing ocean creatures have nasty personalities. They enjoy shooting foes at range, which they do very effectively. They are also rather strong, flexible, even intelligent, and they take a fair amount of punishment to be defeated. Squids. Squids are unintelligent, but the dexterity of their tentacles makes their considerable strength a real menace. They throw their poisonous ink from a distance, and it is always very damaging. These unpleasant sea creatures are hardy and difficult to overcome. Sea serpents. These serpents can appear from nowhere to rock a ship, capable of launching great fireballs from a considerable distance, even across an entire island. They are among the most formidable of opponents. Since they are not intelligent and are easily outwitted, the best strategy is often to evade them and flee. However, if forced into battle, closing in to engage the serpent directly in combat will improve a ship's odds of surviving. From beyond the grave. Ghosts. Spirits of the uneasy dead. These bodiless creatures compensate for their lack of strength with excellent dexterity and the ability to disappear at will. Although ghosts do not inflict much damage with a blow, defeating them will require cunning. Skeleton. Perhaps the most common of undead creatures. Skeletons lack strength and brains, but they are dexterous, can take a surprising amount of punishment. They often carry some goods. Demon. Very strong, agile, and smart, demons have repertoires of magic that include summoning other demons, possessing their opponents. They are extremely hardy and difficult to kill, even if incapacitated. Demons fly and can easily manage to cross rivers or shallow waters, although they are seldom encountered in mid-ocean. When demons possess another creature, they disappear into that soul, leaving neither trace nor treasure. Virtue. After years of meditation and thought, after hundreds of quests along the mental, physical, and spiritual path to peace and fulfillment, a person might reach near perfection in the 8 virtues of avatarhood. Only while an individual continues to strive against the external and internal forces of evil can he or she be said to be on the path of the Avatar. Ankh is the symbol of peace and benevolence toward all creatures. Worn as a sign by those on the lifelong quest of the Avatar, Ankhs are believed also to enhance courage and loyalty to goodness, and to help ward off harm for knights striving to achieve the 8 virtues. Honesty is scrupulous respect for truth, the willingness never to deceive oneself or another. Compassion is non-judgmental empathy for one's fellow creatures. Valor is the courage to take actions in support of one's convictions. Justice is the devotion to truth tempered by love. Sacrifice, the courage to give oneself in the name of love. Honor is the courage to stand for truth against any odds. Hi, I am Puddleglum. Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome in. Spirituality is the concern with one's inner, how one deals with truth, love, and courage. Humility is perceiving one's place in the world, not according to one's own accomplishments, but according to the intrinsic value of all individuals. Each of Britannia's 8 leading towns celebrates one of the virtues of avatarhood, and each has raised a shrine to that virtue. Shrines are located in retreats to ensure tranquility in natural settings, though traveling to some shrines requires a considerable journey from their towns. The only requirement for using a shrine is knowing the mantra for that virtue. A mantra is a sound repeated continuously during meditation, helping to clear the mind and focus the spirit. Each virtue has a specific mantra that works best for it, and sincere meditation can bring great wisdom. Someone in town will usually divulge the mantra for the town's shrine. They are good descriptions, and I don't know, but they might be mechanically necessary descriptions as well. Because here we know that honesty and truth are related, obviously. Compassion and empathy, valor, courage, justice, truth and love, sacrifice, love, courage and love, honor, courage and truth, spirituality, truth, love, and courage, humility. Apparently none of them, but magic. No one knows exactly when the powers of magic were discovered. Little by little, stories of impossible coups and miraculous recoveries increased in number and detail until finally even the most skeptical people began to give some mystic factors. And only then did the serious scholarly search for magical means of lore begin. Few remain who do not accept the reality of magic. Yet the knowledge of magic and its use are huge. There are few formal schools in which to learn magic. To be a user of magic, one must travel far and wide to learn from various mages who have developed and honed special magical abilities. Even then, there is no guarantee the mages will impart their knowledge. Some aspects of magical lore have become fairly well known. One such is the language of magic. This is a set of 24 syllables compiled by a great language scholar after traveling through Britannia for more than 7 years. These are all the components of any magical spell yet known, but they are little help and extremely dangerous without knowledge of how to combine them into the phrases that make meaningful incantations. Yes, indeed, as we play this game, we will be learning magic. Feel free to try at home. Following is a list of these powerful symbols, approximations of their meanings, and a guide to their pronunciation. On, negate. Bet, fall. Corp, death. Des, down. X, freedom. Flam, flame. Rav, energy. Hur, wind. In, create. Kal, invoke. Lor, light. Bani, life. Nox, poison. Por, movement. Quas, illusion. Rel, change. Sanct, protection. Time, time. Us, up. Vas, great. Wis, or Whis, knowledge. Zen, creature. Ilem, matter, and Zu, sleep. So if you were to cast on Zu, it should wake somebody up, because that is negate sleep. I wonder what In Mani does. Create life. Anyway, the mixtures of magic. Reagents are herbs needed for the preparation of magical mixtures. Most are sold in apothecaries. A few are hard to find and... It might make a zombie, I don't know. A few are hard to find and require special effort to obtain. Following is a chart of the magical reagents and general areas of proficiency they affect. What? Black Pearl, a rare version of the standard white pearl. A black pearl is a forceful reagent in the creation of kinesthetic magic, that is, projecting objects. Blood moss for movement. Fungal growth, usually found in deep forests and warm, damp areas, especially favored as a reagent for its ability to enhance mobility. Garlic for warding, ubiquitous and strong-scented reagent, used effectively in warding off evil spirits. Ginseng, healing, ancient reagent used extensively in healing. Mandrake root for power, very rare and usually expensive magical herb growing only in swampy areas. Mandrake root is said to bring great power to magic that uses it. Nightshade, poison, illusion. Rare poisonous plant that appears only when the moons are in a certain conjunction. Those who learn its whereabouts and manage to be there in the dead of night when the moons are full can pick Nightshade without danger and benefit from its powerful ability as a reagent to create illusions. Spider silk, binding. The magical product of the garden spider and its relatives has no peer in its ability to bind. As a reagent mixed for magic, spider silk magnifies its binding power many times over. Sulfurous ash, common material left by volcanic action. Ash is an excellent source of energy in magical mixture. Spells diverge greatly in terms of difficulty and correspondingly in terms of danger to the caster. After years of observation and experimentation, scholars in magic have classified spells into 8 circles of difficulty. Thus, mages who can command only the simplest spells are considered to be the first circle, and so on. Full mages' magical ability is directly related to their intelligence. Bards appear to have half the magical ability of full mages, and fighters rarely have any. Casting spells drains magical powers, limiting how many spells mages can cast before resting. A spell will drain magical powers in amounts proportional to the spell's circle of difficulty. On the facing page, a chart classifies the spells by circle with a brief indication of each spell's use, a note on when it can be used, and an ingredient list. Do not take the ingredient lists to be recipes, as wrong quantities or careless mixing could have terrible results. Note that not all spells can be used in all situations. Quite a few spells need far too much time or concentration to be cast during combat. Others feed on the energies present in the battle arena. Full descriptions of each spell's nature, use, and effects follow in the following chart. PNG/com signifies the spell works in both dungeons and combat. Got it. Okay. So see, Anzu, awaken. I'm looking for In Mani. Ah, so In Mani Corp is resurrect. And then we have the spellbook, which we are not going to read at the moment. I have been reading a lot. We also have the spellbook as a separate document, as a word-for-word digital copy of the printed spellbook. We have our reference card with our commands. there is the manual which tells you how to load the game, things like that. Oh, movement is different, it looks like. Except in dungeons or during combat, your party is represented by... During combat, each party member, the pad on the right side of your computer provides movement and direction. So instead of... Every Ultima game up till now has used the arrow key. Now we are using the number pad. So 8 is north, 2 is south, 6 is east, 4 is west. Does that mean I can do diagonals? Aha! When in dungeons, pressing the enter or period keys will turn you around. The diagonal keys are used exclusively for aiming weapons or casting spells in combat. I can attack diagonally! I can attack diagonally now! I don't know, Elixir. You could probably still use the arrow keys for movement, but I can do diagonals for attacking now. An arrow key, or arrow symbol just below a menu indicates that the list extends to include more. Okay. Attack, forward, cast, enter, fire, get, pull up, ignite a torch, jimmy a lock, climb, look, mix. New order. Already had that. Open, push, quit and save, ready, search, walk, use, view, exit, yell, stats. Those are all the same as Ultima 4. Within stats, we have home and page up and page down as available. 1 through 6. And 0. Designate / active player. Several commands request one party member be selected. Oh, okay. I can just use the cursor bar to do it, but I can also use spacebar to pass, escape, aborts or exits. Yeah, okay, good. Sound, keyboard buffer. Exit the game and return to the CD games menu. I don't think I need on a modern computer. Alright. Spells again. Hints. Conversation is integral to Ultima 5. Only by piecing together clues to the different inhabitants can you complete your quests. You may ask inhabitants about a number of topics. Often you will... This is the same as Ultima 4. Job! Hunting! Okay, yeah, so exactly like Ultima 4. Alright. We may have gotten through, other than the clue book, which I don't think we need to look at yet, but it has descriptions of the cities and stuff, so when we visit one, we will look at the entry, like we did with Ultima 4. I think we've gotten all of this lore! We've gone through tons of data. Portico is taking care of me. I'm gonna switch us back to the gameplay view. Thank you for the stretch posture and hydrate, Portico. So, currently, Aeocon. Oh, and Helgraf, I just did a posture check, but I will do another one. Level 5 avatar, good health. Stats are there. I have 24 magic. I have a chain coif, chain, a longsword, and an ankh. Ankh is a weapon? Camino does not have magic. Currently is hurt. Leather helm, ringmail, short sword, small sheath. Ah, so chain coif is my armor. And the ankh is my shield. Or the chain coif is my helmet. Chain armor. Longsword. The ankh is my shield. It has been a long time since I played. A very, very, very long time since I played this. It was probably I probably last played this sometime in the early 90s. I definitely played it more than once. But yeah, it's been a long, long time. YOLO, leather helm, leather armor, main gauche, and a short sword. You have 63 food. That's worrying. 150 gold, which we will need to use to buy food, 2 keys, no gems, 4 torches. Have some sulfurous ash, some ginseng, some garlic, some spider silk, and some black pearls. Currently have already prepared spells in lore, Gravpor, Anzu, Annox, Mani, Anzenkor, and Vas lore, as well as some additional ones. So let's look at this spellbook. Mani will be a healing spell for it. Anzu is Awaken. Gravpor, a novice magic user had best count on good solid weapon battle. A good spell for novices to practice, not rely on in battle, is Gravpor, which casts a missile. Okay, so it's magic missile. On Nox, negate poison. On Zenkor, negate creature of death. Turn undead. Okay. Vas lore. Great light. And Vas Flam, Great Flame, which is a ball of fire. Okay. I have 2 of something. Let's look at the alphabet. I. IS. 2 pages. IS. Uncertain. 3 yellow potions and a pocket watch. Scroll. I have an I scroll and an S scroll. Instinct. Oh! It's a spell scroll. Thank you. I really don't remember this game very much. Instinct. Create protection. 2 scrolls of protection. Okay. I also have an extra small shield, 2 cloth armor, 6 daggers, a club, and 3 flame oil. Alright! Pass? Money. No. Oh. Just money. On Chimino. Oh yeah, I don't remember the... Well, that didn't heal Shimino for very much. I love that there's a sitting. Thou dost see an oaken barrel. Thou dost see a hot stove. I can look at things. Thou dost see a flickering torch. How many hours should I rest to heal up Shimino? One? 5! 5! I couldn't do 4. Resting in bed doesn't heal, it just passes time. Of course not. A pitcher. Can't get the pitcher. Can't get the barrel. Alright, we left the house. Search? I forgot that search was a thing. In the barrel, thou dost find nothing of note, but thank you for reminding me that searching was possible. Search the table. Oh yes, get the crops. Is that increasing my food? Yes it is. Oh, farmers, I am so sorry, but your fields are just gonna be devastated. I believe these are Iolo's crops. Iolo is in my party, so I would say they are my crops. Not to be confused with Mycroft, who is Sherlock Holmes' brother. Where should I go? Oh, I know. And I do have the no, I do have backseating allowed on, so you're good. Just don't do spoilers. But backseating. My brain is trying to remember what oh, it's locked. Now it's not locked. You can climb fences. So I didn't need to use that. Let us find a potion! Oh, get the potion. A white potion. Don't know what white potions do, but goody. Ah, that is a good reminder. I did not recall that about this game. Search the well. Fish? Seriously, can I wish? Started playing Breath of the Wild again a few days ago, and I haven't. I barely touched it. I've seen the whole game played because I watched Koopa Kung Fu play it years ago. But oh no, Hellgruff, I know. But thank you for I know it doesn't work at every well, but thank you for letting me know it was Look that was effective for that. But yeah, Puddle, I think Breath of the Wild is a good game. I just have never been able to get into actually playing it myself. But I enjoyed the game as a game, which is why I ended up watching Koopa play it. Nighttime, I can barely see. I think it might be time to pull up. Or 5? Yes. Me. So, Hole Up and Camp does not heal anymore? At all. Not just in beds? It just doesn't heal anymore? Oh, but not every time. Thanks, Helgruff. 6 hours minimum? So, Puddle, I hope that, it won't let me sleep for anything but 5 hours. That's weird. I hope that you have fun playing the game. Yeah, I have Numlock off. Numlock is turned off. Because it doesn't work with the regular number keys either. Actually need to keep all this. Oh, there it worked with the actual numbers. Bizarre. And Shimino got healed. Thank you. Have you tried turning it off and then on again? Alright. So we're at Shimino's cabin. We just took a vacation, that's all. Alright, we've got some rivers happening. Pause time. Um... There's some hills. Lots of forests. I feel like we've got to be up near you. But which way to go to get there if we are? Well, let's explore. In the middle of the night. In the deep dark forest. That seems like a great idea. Swamp. I don't have a lot of them, though. Ah! Spiders! It went splat! Oh, he gets 2 attacks! So, it is now required to hit enter after aiming. Uh-oh. Yolo is poisoned. On Nox, right? Yep. Cast. On Nox. On Yolo. Yolo's not poisoned anymore. Hello there. Enter Empath Abby. I could save inside places. That's new functionality. Hard to see in the dark. I should talk to the guards, shouldn't I? Ooh, use fountain. No. Look, fountain? Refreshing. I don't want to use the torch yet. Hawk. Guard offers no response. Yell. Since I typed it. I will yell something. It doesn't work? Seriously? That used to be a thing. Grab one from the wall? Borrowed! There are so many things I don't remember. Horse! I'm on a horse! I came to the Abbey, I wished for a horse, and now I'm on a white steed. Why are there guards everywhere? My goodness. Okay. The torch burned out. Sir, are you riding a horse inside? Yeah? Can't leave it outside, it'll wander. I had to wish hard for this thing. Yeah. I could leave the horse in here. With the doors closed, it shouldn't wander away. I can get in bed with the horse? I can climb ladders with the horse. Did it? Oh, on foot. Did I go upstairs? Fine. You all see how my save icon was made? Or what I modeled it after? Ooh. Look! Let us see a mirror. Up ladder and a down ladder. Up on the top. Searching the gargoyles. I may have forgotten that I'm low on food. Not climb and descend anymore. It's just climb. Can't search the one in the corner. Ah, there's a jester. Nothing of note in any of the trunks. You see a serene lady. You know what? I come prepared. Location. Empath. Abbey. Oh, come on. Second floor. Gotta take those notes. My name is Barbara. Oh. I am the keeper of the flame of love. Mantra. Stone? As you climb, please note that it is 6:15. Your arbitrary, not actually bounded by anything stop time approacheth. Like a ladder climbing horse? I don't think health is necessarily going to be something we need to ask all of them. Flame of love. One of the 3 principles of Avatar of... One of the 3 principles, Avatar of Legend. Truth of... etc. Yeah, she recognized me. Thou dost know it is thy duty to try and recover what this kingdom has lost. Dost thou intend to? Yes. Then perhaps I have a vision that may help thee. I saw a great man in a distant place. I saw him as if looking through a glass. And distant. I don't know if it'll be or not. I saw him as if through a glass. Was his name Alice? I saw naught but his reflection. For I do not know. That wasn't especially helpful, Barbara. Like, actually not that helpful. I don't know what to do with that vision. A kindly tinker. might you be? It is thee, is it not? Oh, crap. Bye. Farewell, good avatar. Yes. At long last we had thought thy return was beyond hope. It's Julia. I still have the Ultima 4 notes in here, so I'm just gonna double check. Julia was one of our companions. Was she not? That was what purple was, wasn't it? Yep. Yeah. I live here at the Abbey, refuge from the Shadow Lord. They hunt all of us who helped thee on thy quest. Blackthorn fears us. Yes! Julia is part of my party! Julia is a bard. Level 2. Good health. Strength of 21, intelligence of 18, dexterity of 19. Points 60. I don't know what HM is. Hit point maximum 60. Experience 138. Magic of 9. Has a chain coif, leather armor, and a spear. A tall, caring man. That purple. His name is Lord Michael. He's lord of this castle. He's here in the breakfast room. Here in Empath Abbey, we protect the principle of love from the evils that would corrupt it. It is an abbey, but it is a castle. It's just called Empath Abbey. Since the disappearance of Lord British, evil has reared its foul head, and now the three castles of virtue stand alone. The Shadow Lords dare not desecrate this holy place, not even the Shadow Lord of Hate. Seek out the demon who lives in the Great Eastern Desert. He knows much of the Lord of Hatred. Quests. seek out the demon who lives in the Great Northern Desert. He knows much of the Lord of Hatred. That was a useful conversation. That one's locked. I unlocked it. The flame of love! Nothing on the shelf. Thou dost see a harpsichord with 10 keys numbered 0 through 9. Uh-oh, sound off didn't turn off the sound. My Galara dragon. I'm glad, Puddle, that your heat is working. Alright. Down here. Did we lose our horse by going upstairs? Left him in the room. Look at the clock. Let us see a grandfather clock showing 1:02 p.m. Ooh, hello. A merchant says, "Come see me at my shop when it's open." Oh, it's getting toward the end of the day. After. You see a cheerful man. Name. My name is Hard Luck. Job? I am the Abbey Jester. I juggle and sing fine songs. Empath Abbey. Song. Blackthorn once was a fine old man, upon fine principles he would stand. But then came the Shadow Lords full of evil, Blackthorn's soul they came to steal. All at once the tyranny began, all because of fate's dark hand. Like it? Yes, sure. Thou may have noticed that it points out that Blackthorn himself is not responsible for the evils he imposes. Rather, he is trapped, as we are, under the control of the truly evil Shadow Lords, only more so. A pity. Not in the movie at all. So Blackthorn not responsible, actually under the influence of the show. Alright. Bye. May fate smile brightly on you. Lost our horse. Can we do again? Yes. Horse. Ferrari. It doesn't work. That used to be a thing too. Okay. Well, we managed to travel from Iolo's home to Empath Abbey in the middle of the night without using a torch. We will need to get some food next time, but I am going to be ending it for today because we have reached time, and I did a lot of talking today, so I need to go. I need to rest a little before. I will be streaming tomorrow for that thing that I do. Mass Effect Legendary Edition tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. That is the plan there. Let's see. Yes, 80s action hero Shepard. And then Monday evening at 7 p.m. I will be live with Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick on PlayStation 2. And this week we start up again with Archival Adventures, my archive stream on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So I hope that you all join me for those things. I do want to give a shout out to Was Not Worth It, who is a supporter on Coffee, a subscriber on Coffee. I want to thank Hannah. Thank you so much for the coffee donation earlier. That sadly does not translate into the credits here. Also, Be Right UK, thank you for the 500 bits. Thank you so much to Kira and Lord Portico for being here and modding today. I could not do this without you, and thank you very, very much for all your help. Thank you everybody for coming by and joining me. Galara, honestly, you didn't miss very much actual gameplay. The entire stream was reading the Book of Lore, as well as watching the introduction. So all you missed was us traveling around Iolo's house, and then wandering through the dark until we found Empath Abbey, and wandering around inside Empath Abbey. That's all we did today. We will pick this up again next Saturday. I'm looking to see who might want to raid, and I can try. I don't know if Vanna's channel will accept a raid, but I will attempt. And we'll see if this works. If not... well, it seems like it's actually going to work. So we're going to raid over to Vanna. Vanna is an amazing streamer, absolutely wonderful person, So I hope that you all will say hello when we get over there. She's currently doing a just chatting, so we're gonna pop on over there, say hello to Vanna, and hopefully brighten her day a little bit. Thank you again, everybody, for coming by. I look forward to seeing you again in a future stream. Until then, get out there and do some